Hello, good people. It's time for us to talk about follow-up number 2. Now, this follow-up is due the middle of Module 6, and you can check the syllabus for the exact date on that. In Module 6, you'll see the assignment posted with the Submit button, so you'll submit your assignment there. The assignment will be submitted as a file upload, so just so you're aware of that as you are creating this assignment. So in Module 4, we spent a little bit of time learning about the close procedure for assessing a student's comprehension of a text and also the maze procedure, which is very similar. You saw some video information on that and you read the information in your text. So hopefully you have a pretty solid understanding of what we're talking about with the close procedure and the maze procedure because you're going to be using one of those in this assignment. Okay, so if we take a look at it, it says assessment of individual student. Now we know that in summertime, this is a little bit of a challenge because we don't have our kids with us anymore. So we're going to adapt to this follow-up a little bit and it'll be fine because the main purpose here is that you have a little bit of practice with the close and with the maze procedure. So here's how it goes. You're going to think of a student with whom you worked in the past who struggles with comprehension. If you still have access to data for that student, you're going to take a look at that data so that you can write a pretty comprehensive profile of the needs of this reader. However, it is summer and you might not have that access anymore. So if you don't, just try to remember the best you can. Some of this student struggles with comprehension and how you would describe that student struggles with comprehension. And if you've never actually worked with any students, if you're a pre-service teacher, you're just going to have to make this part up. Okay, imagine a student. And based on some of the information that we've talked about throughout this course, you can kind of create a little bit of a profile of what kind of struggles a student might be having. All right, then you're going to create either a closed test or a maze procedure for this student so that you could assess how well they would be able to handle reading a particular text. Now, I know when you read in our text that to get kind of an idea of a reading ability level for students, they suggested that you do 2 separate close procedures. You don't need to do that. Just let's take a look at one text and create either a close or a maze for just one text. If you don't have access to text because it's summer, check out readworks.org. There's a lot of leveled material there. There's also leveled material in the newsela.com website, newsela.com. You can get leveled text there. If you need any other suggestions, just email me and let me know and I'll see what I can find for you. Okay, but you're going to use a text that's on the student's reading level to be able to see would they be able to read it. Okay, so when you write this up, area A is going to be your profile of your student based on your data if you have it, and if you don't, the best that you can, describing the student. Okay. Area B, you're going to create that close or that maze assessment. So you are going to need text to be able to do that. And you're going to imagine how this student might perform when they take this assessment, and then talk about any insights that you might gain into this student based on the results of the assessment. Area C, now that you've given the assessment, hypothetically, you're going to explain a strategy or a technique that you would recommend for helping the student with this text if he or she struggles with your assessment, and explain how you would anticipate that strategy would be helpful to the student. Okay, when you submit your assignment, you're going to submit the copy of that close or that maze procedure that you create. Okay, here's your rubric. Area A is your profile of your student. Area B is the actual assessment with a description of it, letting me know that you have a thorough understanding of this technique. And then area C is the consideration of the strategy or the technique that you would use with that student. Okay, so I hope that all makes sense. If it doesn't, of course, you will email me and I will do the best I can to help you out. Okay, have fun with it.